What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. Today I am doing a dual tournament report from NAIC. Both myself and my friend John Sundstrom. We both played Zoro Rock at the tournament. We'll get into the deck just a bit, but first let me have John introduce himself.
So yeah, like you said, I am John Sundstrom. I'm from New Jersey, just like Luke, and yeah, it took me 10 years to get a Worlds invite, so I'm pretty terrible at this game.
So it is the first year that John and myself really made the big push for the World's Invite. So it's great to get it. Um, John's definitely undermining himself there. I think he is a really great player, but up until this season, he's just been a really great local player. And this year we traveled a bit more. And yeah, so you'll hear all about that in the tournament report. But first, let's go into the deck. I was set on Zora Rock going into NAIC. If you're not new to this channel, I don't really need to explain that too much to you. If you are new, I got most of my points this year with Zora Rock. I think it's a great deck, super aggressive. You can really punish suboptimal play on your opponent's side because you have so many choices to go after your opponent with this deck. And so yeah, this is the list that I settled on. I played it for a couple cups, and I think the only thing I added in might have been the energy lotto, just to consistently hit that strong energy a little more. John, what were your thoughts going into NAIC? How long before the tournament did you pick this deck, and what were changes you made?
Okay, so yeah, NAIC, I pretty much had the same thought process as everybody else did. That we'd be seeing like three decks, which would be some kind of Buzzwole deck, some kind of Zoroark deck, some kind of Malamar deck. That's pretty much the triangle. So obviously, I'm the kind of guy that really just focuses on usually what usually is the play. Um, it was almost Buzzwole. Like I was playing that deck for like since March, and like March up until like June or whatever. I played it for two regionals, one standard, one expanded. I played it for all the cups leading up to this point, and so then you're probably thinking like, why would I change my deck, or why would I play something else instead? So leading up to it, I kept my focus on Buzzwole, but I just was not liking the way the way it drew, the way it bricked, and all that stuff. I didn't like doubt the power of the deck, but I kind of wanted something that had a bit more consistency, something that could, yeah, just pretty much it, just like consistency.
Yep, yeah, definitely a good reason to change over to Zora Rock because it still has the power and aggressiveness that Buzzrock has. So John and I played the same. We played 59 out of 60. John played a basic fighting energy in place of my energy lotto. So definitely not a huge change, not very integral to the deck. Um, okay, so yeah, we're just gonna hop on into round one. Super exciting. We found out, I think the day before, I guess, that top 5 points would not be happening. So John and I needed top 512, but going in, we both needed top 256 instead to get our Worlds invite. I think we were both around 50 points or maybe a little less away from the invite. So round one, I played Christian Ortiz playing Buzzrock, a good player that I know, so not exactly what I wanted to see round one. Um, but I went in very prepared for the Buzzrock matchup. Felt it was 50-50, especially with my list. He goes first game one. I don't get a Bridget. I have to Cynthia instead. But I get turn two Claw Slash for 130. I swing through a Baby Buzz and an Octillery. Uh, I get a cheeky Acerola play at one point in one of the games. You can read a super detailed version of all of these games I'm about to talk about on my Flipside Gaming article, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, I went 2-0 round one against Buzzrock. I think I played optimally. Christian prized a super rod game one, which helped me because he wasn't able to chain his baby buzzes as well as he would have liked. Yeah, so 2-0 Buzzrock for round one. Sunstrom, how about you?
My round one I faced against Jesse Tukowski. who played Greninja, which, if you play Zoroark, you know how fun that could be. But yeah, game one. Oh, the real kick is that he went first. You know, it's so important to go first for Zoroark, but you know, also it's important for them to go first too. So yeah, he gets first. Does like the like, do I really need to explain Greninja? It does like the same thing over and over again. It sets up, does the thing, locks your abilities. So that pretty much happened in game one. So I lost. Game two, I go first, but things go a lot smoother for me, and I actually made like a key play where, you know, he was basically like burning a lot of his energies away
Hmm.
with like his shirts and all that stuff. So I decided like, you know, I need a prize or whatever. So I'm just like out, and then he wasn't able to like find another energy or whatever. So that actually allowed me to get access to my abilities and start knocking out Greninjas. So I took game two,
Really hard to
and
do against
then
Greninja. So,
yeah,
uh,
and then it's like you can understand that like, you know, it's a grindy matchup. So game three obviously didn't finish, and we ended in a tie.
right. So, definitely, I remember after round one, I had 2-0'd Buzzrock, so I was happy that all my testing had paid off against Buzzrock. And I saw you, and you're like, I play Greninja. And I was so bummed because I was like, oh, he lost round one. And you're like, but I tied.
Yeah, it's like we take those. I mean, that's like a point's a point.
Yep, yeah, definitely really sick to take a tie to likely your most unfavorable matchup. If not your most unfavorable, then one of them.
So annoying, like really.
So, round two, I play against another Buzzrock, Justin Hendershot. I was feeling good coming off my 2-0 against Buzzrock. Of course, he goes first, and I do get to play Bridget turn one here. My Mew EX was prized, but I took that off of my second prize I took, and that helped me just. I steamrolled through his board after I took. After I got Mew EX going, he benched a Buzzwole GX at a point where he didn't need to because he had 2 babies ready to go, and benching that Buzzwole GX allowed me to get ahead. Game two, I did not get the Bridget start. He went first, and I just had a really rough game. There was a point where if I got one heads off of a timer ball, I would have went from 5 to 3 off of a dangerous rogue. But I got double tails off of the timer ball, and after that, I just never got anything going. Game three, I got one Zoroark. When one Zoroark died, I would get a new Zoroark, but I only had one at all times throughout the game, so it was pretty poor drawing for me. And then he was having some bad Buzzrock draws, but you know Buzzrock still gets attacks off when they're dead drawing. And it was a close game, but he ended up being able to chain more attackers than I did, so I lost 1-2 that round to Buzzrock. How about you, Sonny?
Round two, I'm going up against Ryan Allred, who's playing Buzzrock.
Good player, good deck. It's a tough matchup. Let's see how it went.
Yeah, game one, pretty much Buzzrock was doing Buzzrock things, which was, again, which discouraged me from even playing the deck. He was just bricking hard on like a lot of stuff. I think he was even like, this is gonna sound weird, but I think he was even whiffing energies. The game was like kind of a blur, but I just remember winning game one. It was fast.
Okay.
And then like, what was it, game two? He pretty much just gets set up like a lot, and I think like my setup was like a little bit more slower. So I think like, yeah, it was a fast one. So that was game two. And then like game three was a bit more grindy,
Okay.
but you know I managed to make some key plays. I pretty much played like that matchup as I was supposed to.
Get the claw
Which was,
slashes early.
yeah, pretty much. And I think I also did a key play where I managed to bring out an Octillery with a Bloodthirsty Eyes and then end into like a low hand
Those are
side.
beautiful turns.
That's pretty much how it went. Like it was kind of a blur, and I think like he actually like he needed like a card or two to come out on that. Like it was still weird. I wasn't really expecting to win that one, but I did.
Cool. So yeah,
So
definitely getting rid of their draw support can hurt a lot. So you took a 2-1 round two against Buzzrock. So you're 101 and I am 1-1 at this point. Round three, why don't you go first for this one?
you want me to go for okay? Round three, I'm going up against Jan Ringel, who's playing Ultra Necrozma
Okay.
with Malamar. So, and this was like the one, like the Malamar deck that's usually a lot trickier for like the Buzzrock player, just because the Ultra Necrozma is like it's not weak to like anything in the deck, and they can actually abuse Beast Ring if you do something like cheeky. Even if you try to take two prizes for like a dangerous rogue or whatever, you can do something cheeky like play a Beast Ring and then power up a Ultra Necrozma and just boom, stuff like that.
Right, right, right.
But yeah, so yeah, my game one, like I think like my main focus originally was just like going after like Ingays and Malamars and stuff like that. That's what I stuck with, and I managed to at least get a Lycanroc set up to like close things out and take out Ultra Necrozma.
Nice. So you won game one.
Yep, and I also won game two. It went a bit the same.
Yeah, as long as you can draw cards, that matchup usually goes take out their Malamars, and not much else to say about that. My round three was against Isaiah Kim, playing Solgaleo GX, Duskmane Necrozma GX. Definitely a random off-meta deck to see, but it was much harder than I expected it to be to beat it. Excuse me. So game one, I go first. I see a Duskmane Necrozma. I bridge it for 2 Zorua Rockruff. I imagine I'm playing against either Duskmane Magnezone or Duskmane Garb. So I had 2 game plans already. I'm either Dangerous Roguing Magnemites or I'm either Bloodthirsting Eyes Magnemites or I'm Bloodthirsting Eyes Trubbishes. Turned out to be neither of those. He bridges for 2 Cosmogs and a Solgaleo Prism. My world turns upside down. I have to try to dig in my head to remember what the hell Solgaleo GX does. Turns out it has 250 HP, and that's kind of hard for Zoroark and Lycanroc to knock out. So I go turn 2, Bloodthirsty Eyes, a Cosmog, and Claw Slash it. He goes turn 2, Candy, Solgaleo, Soul Burst, and Soul Bursts 2 energy onto Solgaleo GX and 3 onto Duskmane Necrozma. Next turn, I Guzma and Dangerous Rogue, Duskmane Necrozma, and then he Sunsteel strikes my Lycanroc. I 2-shot that with Riotous Beating. He actually one shot with I hit one with Riotous Beating and the next with Energy Drive, and then he kills my Lele with a Corona Strike from Solgaleo Prism. And then I go in with a DCE to a new Lele, multi-switch a DCE to the Lele, Kukui, one-shot the Solgaleo Prism for my last prize. Game 2, he gets set up exactly the same way, except he goes first. He gets Bridget, Candy turn 2, Soul Burst, and him going first and getting that same setup was just too much for me to handle. I wasn't able to get everything I needed to one-shot 250 HP Solgaleo, so I lost that one. And then game 3, he bricked really hard, and I just ran through whatever Pokemon he was able to put down. So 2-1 round 3 against Duskmane Necrozma. So I am 2-1 at this point, and Sundstrom, you are 2-0-1. Going into round 4, I play against Tim Patton, playing Zoroark Lucario GX. He goes first, game 1. My only supporter is a Mallow, and I start with a Mew EX. So I Mallow Bridge it to the top, and then I wait for 5 minutes to see if he donks me. He does not get the donk, he whiffs an energy. So from there, I bridge it. I also prize double Zorua and a Rockruff this game, which hurts. But I bridge it for 2 Zorua, 1 Rockruff. I get going. He whiffs strong energy for a couple turns. I Bloodthirsty Eyes all of his Lucarios and run through his board with a Lycanroc. Game 2, I run through his board with a Lycanroc again, except I don't. It doesn't take me 2 turns to bridge it this game. So 2-0 on Zora Lucario, pretty easy matchup usually, unless they run extremely hot, because they are a combo-based orient deck, and it's kind of hard to hit everything to kill the Lycanox. And Sunny, you're round 4.
Round 4, I'm going up against Sam Irish playing Psychic Malamar. So, like, oh yeah, I think he went first in that game, and I think all he saw was like a Rockruff. So then he didn't even know like what I was playing. So he ends up benching his Dawnwings Necrozma.
Oh, okay.
And the second I played Bridget, he was like, "No, you're playing this." Yeah, but his deck was actually meant to like it was kind of like built to handle like Zoroark decks. Like it ran a Marshadow GX and he ran a Clefairy.
Okay,
Um, Clefairy actually did see play. He was actually able to get a dangerous rogue off.
nice.
So, but I mean, I still 2-0 that match anyway because he never got to use the Marshadow, and then the one opportunity he did have to use Marshadow game two, it was
Oh
prized.
wow. Okay,
So I pretty much it was a steamroll.
nice. Okay, yeah, the matchup's usually kind of easy. The techs can make it a little closer to 50-50, but it's still hard to get them out exactly when you need them. So you're going into round five at 3-0-1, and I'm going in at 3-1. What was your round five matchup?
I faced the mirror, the Zoroark mirror, Zoroark mirror, going up against Cody Keel,
Okay.
his name is. Yeah, game one was it was nice. It was like a long grindy one. But first off, I had to like find my seat anyway because I had to go to like the special needs
Oh,
area
okay.
because like it had like a the dude was like marked like a 400 on there, and I was like, I don't know what this means, and I was like sitting waiting for my opponent. He's not showing up. So then they took me to this other area to go play,
Okay.
and then we of course we didn't get like a time extension because why would we? But yeah, yeah, game one was grindy, and I still managed to win that one though because actually a key part of this matchup is that he was not running Enhance Hammer in his
Oh
deck,
wow. Okay.
which that why would you do that?
Yeah, you. That's really really big for the mirror.
Yeah, he was running double parallel, but I don't really see the purpose of that. It was like I'd rather be running E Hammer,
Hmm.
but I still played in fear of the E Hammer anyway. So I managed to win game one. Game two was really fast. I Dead Drool was one of those games where you just want nothing but puzzles of time, pretty much, and I just got steamrolled, and that was that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then game three, we're both kind of like a bit slow getting out the gates, but I managed to get ahead first, and again, like the E Hammer was like everything because I managed to like pluck away a strong energy when it was most important.
Hmm. Yeah, the tempo. It's
Yeah,
like the biggest tempo based matchup in
yeah,
Pokemon.
and then like the second like our game ended or whatever, I guess his friends walked over. He said straight up like he won because he played E Hammer and I didn't.
Yeah, that can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, round five, I had a pseudo mirror match. I played against Brandon Eugen playing Zoropod. Um, so I went first. Um, I got my Bridget. We both had great setups. I started Zorua and I Bridgeted for double Zorua Rockruff since I was going first, so my Rockruff couldn't get killed on turn two. And he started Zorua and went Zorua Wimpod. Turn two, I Bloodthirsty to Wimpod and Riot Speedinged it. Um, and actually, no. I'm so sorry. I Bloodthirsty to Zorua. He only had two Zoruas, so I wanted to limit his draw power. I Bloodthirsty to Zorua. Riot beating it, and from there I just continued killing every new Zorua he put down. He only had one Zoroark for most of the game, so limiting his draw power didn't even matter that he had those Wind Pods down. And I just built up Rockruffs on the bench, one energy at a time, without evolving the ones with energy. So, like the one I Bloodthirsty Eyed, the Lycan Rock I evolved there, I would use that just for Bloodthirsty Eyes and then attach a strong energy to a regular Rockruff, not evolved. So that he had a choice to either, if the situation occurred, he could either Guzma the Lycan Rock and get two prizes, or Guzma the Rockruff get one prize and take out an energy. So I was making him choose like that most of the game. And took game one. Game two, he got a really strong lead. He went first with Bridget. I had one Rockruff prize, which could hurt potentially, but it's not the end of the world. Um, he he got to a 3-6 prize lead, and I realized he had used two puzzles early. He used two enhanced hammers early. He used two Guzmas early. There was a counter catcher, both Acerolas. He was playing two Acerolas. Both of them were in the discard pile. So I was like, I'm just going to run him out of resources, not bench anything I don't need. So I had 3 Zoroarks and a Lele. I was cycling attackers. Enhanced hammering when possible. Then I got this really nice turn where I took 2 prizes because I energy drove and then riot speeding Zoroark. I took 2 prizes. One of them was my prize Rockruff. I double puzzled for strong energy and one of the other Rockruffs that were knocked out earlier. And I benched 2 Rockruffs, attached a DCE to my Lele on the bench. So he could not get rid of my Rockruffs and the Lele and the DCE. 2 enhanced hammers were in the discard. If he double puzzled for them, that's great for me because he's out of Guzma's and Ace of Roll and a lot of resources at that point. So it ended up paying off for me because I got the strong to Rock Rough, Lycanroc multi-switch play the next turn, knocked out a Golisopod, and from there I ran through Zoroarks with a Lycanroc. So 2-0'd a Zoropod. Going into round 6 at 4-1? 5-1? Yeah, going into round 6 at 5-1. Sundstrom, how about you?
401.
4-0. Hang on. So wait, did we do your round 5 yet?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Oh, okay, so yeah, I'm going in at 4-1 into round 6. That makes more sense. And you're going in at 4-0-1. So round 6, I play against Zachary Bokari, playing Buzzgarb. I prize my Mew EX game 1, which really hurt because there was a nice turn where I could Mallow float DC Mew EX on his Buzzwole. Game 1 was super grindy. I had a suboptimal play where I wasted a DCE to retreat, where I could have just sent something different up and not wasted a DCE, but I'm still not sure if it was game deciding. He took round 1, game 1. Game 2, super grindy again, but I got him to dead draw a little earlier. And with only 1 Buzzwole on the board, he missed B-String turn as well, and I was able to take that game. Game 3, another grindy. He went ahead early. I end him. He had Garbotoxin. He dead drew. And we got to a point where he had 2 Leles and a Trubbish on board, and I had 3 prizes. I KO'd the Baby Buzz to go down to 2, and so he has Trubbish 2 Lele. Time is called. I only have 1 Guzma in my hand. I Guzma Lele Claw Slash. Next turn, I don't hit the Guzma to win, and it's a tie. Sundstrom, how about round 6 for you?
Alright, so yeah, round 6, going up against Robin Schultz, he's playing Torch deck basically.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna explain it as. It's Torch deck. Long story short, I got 2-0'd, wasn't really able to attack, do anything, like keep energy on the field, just none of it. And that series was awful. I got trashed, and that's that.
Yeah, that is not a good matchup for Zoroark Lycanroc, unfortunately. Very, very, very hard matchup. So you and I are both going into round 7 as 4-1-1. We each need 2 wins. I'm sorry, we each need 1 win, 1 tie or better for our invite, or 3 wins for day 2. So why don't you tell me about your round 7?
Round 7, I'm playing against Andre Miranda. He is playing Bulu.
Just what you want to see, right?
Oh.
So how'd it go?
Game 1, he got down to 1 prize. Got the turn 2 Vikavolt. Actually, he got down to 1 prize. I had him to 1, and then somehow, some way, I went from 6 prizes to no prizes.
So you end him to 1, and he never saw an attack again.
never saw an attack. He didn't even have his Oranguru out.
That is bad.
Yeah, which then I was like wondering like if he was even running it in the first place. I'm gonna assume it was prized or he didn't need it at that moment.
So game 2?
Game 2, I get steamrolled.
And game 3?
Game 3, oh yeah, I'm going first game 3, which was actually really huge. And not to mention that it was like the only game where he actually did not get a turn 1 or a turn 2 Vikavolt. For the most part, I wasn't really allowing it. And yeah, because of the fact that he got like Vikavolt out way too late. pretty much like put me at a huge advantage, and yeah, that's how Zoroark just beat Bulu.
Nice, nice. So round 1, you get the tie against Greninja. Round 7, you get the win against Vikabulu, and you're sitting at 5-1-1 after this. So
Mm-hmm.
in your next 2 rounds, all you need is a tie to get in to points range.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess while you're explaining your matchup, I'm gonna go get a
Okay,
drink.
that's cool. So round 7, I go against Nick. I don't remember his last name. I didn't write it in my notes, unfortunately. But I'm playing against Nick, and he's playing Volcanion. He was a super, super nice dude. We talked most of the match. Um, it was a really fun match to play. He told me I think this was his first year, like going to big tournaments and stuff, and next year he might be grinding for the invite, depending on time and work and stuff. But yeah, we had some really nice conversation. So yeah, playing against Volcanion, round 1, he goes first. He opens Ho-Oh GX in the active. Later, I've realized he's just playing the one Ho-Oh and one Kiawe. It's kind of a backup plan to the whole Volcanion package. But he starts Ho-Oh, Volcanion, Lele, Kiawe, Kiawe to the Ho-Oh pass. I started Mewtwo Evo, which was super, super nice against this. And I go attach DC, Bridget, and Psychic the Ho-Oh for 100. And he gets a Float Stone, Volcanic Heats. He gets a Float Stone, attach double Max Elixir to the, to the Volcanion EX, and Volcanic Heats the Mewtwo. I Guzma the Ho-Oh and Energy Drive it. From there, he just lost his Kiawe investment. The Max Elixirs did help, but I was able to take 2 more prizes in the next few turns with a Dangerous Rogue and then a really buffed up Claw Slash. And then game 2, he did not get the turn 1 Kiawe or the really early Max Elixir hits. He did get a Turtonator GX attack off around turn 4, I'd say. So the Turtonator was fully powered. He powered up a Volcanion on the bench. I killed the Volcanion. And then from there, I just Claw Slashed a Lele or something for the game. But like I said, super nice player. He piloted Volcanion very well. It was just the deck has a linear play style that I was able to capitalize on with all the options my deck has to offer. Sundstrom, round 7 for you?
Round 7, I'm going up against Matthew
Oh, no, wait,
Hazlitt.
sorry, we're in round 8 now, right?
Yeah.
Round 8 for you, sorry. So Matthew Hazlitt.
Yeah, Matthew Hazlitt. He's playing Buzzgarb, and we ID'd.
Oh, okay, so you both needed the invite, the points for the
Yeah,
invite?
pretty much like, yeah, we needed the invite. He knew me. I knew him. Like, we knew each other from, like, cups,
Oh,
couple
right, yeah, I
regionals.
know Matthew. Yeah.
Yeah, you know him. Like, he came to our one cup. Like, we pretty much, like, sat down, and he was like, he knew pretty much from, like, multiple resources that a 5.22 record was good enough for the 256 points, which, honestly, that's, like, all we needed. Like, we didn't like care that much about day 2. We just wanted our invites and to make that a guaranteed thing.
Awesome.
So we pretty much like ID'd,
Cool.
and yeah, that was that. Which at this point, like, I pretty much have the invite, but it wasn't 100% confirmed because there might have been other factors going into it. But
Yeah, they're depending on how many people dropped. That wasn't confirmed at the time, so there might have been like a couple 17 bubbles, but yeah, a lot of people dropped. The tie rate was low enough, so 17 ended up being safe.
yeah, so pretty much like all the 5.22s got the points.
Do you know what Matthew was playing?
Uh,
If you had played it out,
What's
do you
up?
know what Matthew was playing? If you had an idea,
Buzzgarb.
Asgard. Cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so round 8, I play against Hedy B. I don't want to say his last name because I probably won't say it right. He's from France, really great player. He's top. He's day 2 invite territory in his region. Um, he's playing Psychic Malamar. He goes. I go first. I'm super happy to see the NK flipped over. Or no, Necrozma GX. I'm really happy to see these playing Psychic Malamar though. I bridge it. for Zorua Rockruff. My hand is dead other than a timer ball, so I'm thinking I need one heads next turn. We're popping off here. On his turn, he gets a Bridget and plays down a Parallel City. Doesn't remove anything from my board. I only have 3. I top deck a Lele, so I would have been living if he had not Parallel City'd me. I go play the timer ball, I get double tails, and I pass. So very sad turn for me. Fortunately, next turn I do top deck a Field Blower, so I can Field Blower Parallel, play Lele to get Cynthia. But from there, I just didn't get much going. He had a Necrozma GX with 4 energy on it, so he one-shot a Zoroark. He was able to one-shot a Lycanroc soon after. Just not a very good game for me, and I dropped that one. Game 2 went as it should for Zoroark. Turn 1 Bridget, turn 2 Bloodthirsty and Inkay, turn 3 Bloodthirsty and Inkay. Went really great. He scooped on like turn 4 or something because he just wasn't getting very great draws after I killed 2 Malamars. Then game 3, he goes first. I start Lele GX, draw, puzzle pass. He does not get the donk on me. Next turn, I get, it's either an N or a Cynthia that I puzzled to the top, and I use it. But I just could not get set up. I ended up grinding that game out to him having 1 prize and myself having 2, and I end him down to 1. But 2 turns later, he had the Guzma in hand and he needed to win. So Hetty won that game, and I am at 5-2-1. 5-2-1, 16 points. So in my round 9, I need either a tie or a win to seal it up. Round 9, I play against Michael Schaefer. He needs a win to get his invite because he needs top 128. So unfortunately, we can't ID us both into the invite, which was rough. Really wish I played against someone that could have, but oh well, you can't choose your opponents. He's playing Buzzgarb. Game 1 is a little grindy, but I get an N where I put him to a bad hand, which usually happens mid-game with Buzzgarb, and I ran through him with some Lycanrocs from there. Game 2, I have the lead most of the game. We come down to a position where I knock out his Buzzwole GX active. I go down to 3 prizes. He has a pretty poor hand, no B strings in it. He nest balls under Parallel City when his bench was full, so I get a 2 prize penalty. I get 2 prizes in my favor for that, and I can win next turn. Even if that didn't happen, I was able to just get another Lycanroc going and win in 2 turns anyway, and I don't think he was going to draw out of it. Unless he drew something like a Sycamore or Cynthia next turn top deck, he wasn't getting anywhere, and even then B-string would have been out of the question because I would have been at 1 prize. So I finished 6-2-1, 19 points, and I got my invite off of that. How about you, Sonny?
My final round, I'm going up against Jimmy Zhang, playing Zoropod. And pretty much, this was like also the point where it's like, when we were still iffy about like the whole 5-2-2 thing in the first place, so, you know, obviously like nerves were there and all that. But not only that, but like a potential day 2 spot was also on the line for both of us. So game 1 was probably like insanely grindy. Like it got to a point where literally just both of us were just running out of resources. Me more than him because I had to do like a really heavy Sycamore like early in the game. Which the key thing was like both my Field Blowers, which ended up mattering somehow. I think it was gonna matter, and it also came down to the fact that like I had to like gamble a bit, and he needed to like hit a choice band to win. But I think I actually found out that one of his choice bands or last remaining one was attached to the wrong thing or something like that. The game, like, it was so long. I think it actually went like over 30 minutes.
Okay.
That's how long it was. So it was in that spot where it was just like, okay, win game 1 and then try to make game 2 as grindy as possible.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my god, it was probably like the longest game 1 I had the whole
Did
day.
it come down to like 2-2 prizes? Or
Yeah, it came down. It came down just yeah, right to the very end. Like both of us were like ran out of resources, stuff like that. It was pretty much we were pretty much playing with table scraps at this point.
okay, cool. And did you take game one?
I did take game one.
Nice. And how about game two? Did that get to finish?
That did it did finish. Was because he could barely even set up. Like he had to like the second I saw a turn one puzzle, I was like, yep, this is gonna go bad for him.
Okay. So it just kind of ran through him from there.
Yeah, pretty much like it was like a straight steamroll, and then the second he like stuck his hand out for a good game handshake, it was just like oh my god, I just got my invite.
Nice, nice, nice.
That was
nice.
like that was thought like before I knew 5T2 would have had it for me anyway.
Mm.
You know? But at least then I knew like wow, I actually have a shot at day
That
two.
was exciting too.
So the record was 6-1-2, and I ended at 34th in my pod.
So 2 spots away from day 2. Definitely would have stung a little more if you hadn't just gotten your invite. I think we were both just happy to have that.
It's just like that's like one time like a bubble wouldn't even. Like honestly, like only like 1-6-1-2 in our pod actually made it in anyway. So,
Yeah.
but I was like there, so that was nice.
Yeah. So yeah, we both finished in the top 128. Got more points than we actually needed. But both ended up getting our invite with Zorak Lycanroc. Yeah, so what was your favorite match of the day? Or even if you just had a favorite like single game throughout there?
Huh. Honestly, that last round, our game one, were like close games like that. Those are what like good games are made of.
Yeah, I think mine is also Zoro Rock versus Zoro Pod versus Brandon Nugent round 5, game 2. We just had one of those super grindy games. And I also enjoyed my games against Nick round 7, playing Vol Canyon Hello. Game 1 was really close, and for the rest of it, he was just a great person to play against. Like, not a jerk at all. We both, laughed around a bit. It was a really fun match. Okay, so yeah, from here on out, Sundstrom and I are testing for Worlds, and we're gonna see how we can make that go. Should be fun regardless. We also have if we don't make day 2, we also have the Nashville Open to look forward to as well, as a nice start to next season. Anything else you wanted to add, Sonny?
When are those CEOs Networks T-shirts coming?
Soon enough. Any shout outs you want to make or anything before we end the video?
Shout out to Luke for being the biggest dinky in the world. That's all.
That's all. Okay, cool, man. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A little more casual, just me and Sonny talking about our day 1 adventures of NAIC. Both super excited for Worlds. I actually just ordered some new camera stuff so I can be testing physical decks for Worlds until Celestial Storm is on PTCGO, and actually recording some of that for you guys. So that should be really, really cool. Should also have 1 or 2 more NAIC finishers on the channel in the next few days. So that should be cool as well. Look out for the Team Winning In tournament, the 256 free-for-all. It's happening right now. I will be competing in that, covering it on flipsidegaming.com, and I will be streaming my matches. If you haven't heard of flipsidegaming.com, go check them out. Use my code CELIO, all caps, for 10% off of your order. And you can also read an article version of my tournament report from NAIC with much more detail. I think it's like 4,000 words on flipsidegaming.com if you would like to read that. I'll catch you guys later. Thank you, John Sundstrom, for being on the channel, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.